Back when I was in elementary school, there was this stupid rule that said you can't talk in the hallway. If you even chuckled, you were going to get pulled over by one of the staff. How do I know? Because it happened to me. Like, you can't talk, period, is the rule. So, what happened was 2 days in a row, my friend was like talking to me like we were exiting out the gym doors, going into the hallway, and he told me like a funny joke or something funny where I was like chuckling as I was walking through the doorway. And when I got in the hallway, I was like, heh. Seriously, that was it. That's all I did was pretty much just like, heh. And the staff is like, no talking! Shh! Then on the second day, I did the same thing, and one of the staff was like, "All right, listen here, buddy. You can't be talking in the hallway. Now come with me to my room. There's this form that I want you to bring home to your parents to sign that says you were talking in the hallway, and this is not going to happen again." So my parents and I, no, it was stupid. Seriously, talking in the hallway, sitting in a form because I talked in the hallway. That is stupid. And you know what? That person that pulled me over became my teacher the next year. Bet she didn't see that twist coming, but thank goodness we actually we got along pretty well. She was actually a nice teacher. We kind of just put that behind me because that was kind of a was not expecting that to happen. One of the most American things you can do is burn a pride hat and use that as fuel for when you're cooking your cheeseburgers. One thing that I am proud of, and anyone with common sense should be proud of, is that I've attended college for over a year now, and I haven't turned into a psychopathic, blue-haired, screaming liberal with all the BS that I see going on in the halls. Well, naturally, whenever the United States is competing in a sport and it's against other nations, I would support the United States. But in the World Cup, the stupid team decided to make that dumb political pride stunt, made us look like damn fools in front of the rest of the world, so I don't support the US team. The only good thing that's going to come out of the US team this year is the crowd shouting, "It's called soccer," because it's called soccer. You guys can call it football when you can actually beat us in soccer. But until then, it's soccer.
Any last words? I'm sorry, what was that?
Very sophisticated jawbone. Yeah, very wide chin. Yeah, very sophisticated. Yeah. 3 truths and 1 lie. Modern Musical Artist Edition. Number 1. Lizzo glorifies fatness because that is her way of getting around the insecurities of her own body. Number 2. Cardi B has anger issues as showed with her assault charges. Number 3. Harry Styles wearing a dress makes him very manly. Number 4. Post Malone is the only member of the NRA that the liberal media doesn't absolutely hate to their guts. Well, Iowa, your guys lost because they were too busy putting woke values on the back of their jerseys instead of learning how to play good. Maybe if your guys' team started training more on basketball rather than DEI, they could start winning some more basketball games against better basketball teams. Because of that, though, that's why you guys lost against the Badgers. And while you're at it, get a new coach as well, because every time there's such a minor inconvenience to him, he complains and complains. Like, oh my God. Obviously, he's from a lefty college. He's not used to not getting his way. So there's a lot of things I could talk about, but just to talk about one, let's talk about how progressives like to completely ignore their own arguments pretty much 5 minutes after they create them. And just to focus on a couple examples, I want to talk about their race and gender arguments. So of course, they're like, oh, race doesn't exist. Except it comes back into existence when they get to call a Republican racist because they approve of immigration policies and wanting borders. It's like, oh, you're racist because you don't want these people coming in our country. And they totally ignore the fact that we say illegal in the first place. But then they're like, oh yeah, race exists. Yeah. But then when it comes to gender, it's the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, gender doesn't exist. But then when it comes to the topic of abortion, it's like, oh, women exist. How dare you? Those are women's rights. It's like, but 5 minutes ago you said women don't exist. So what if I identify as a woman? Do I get a say in the abortion argument now? Because apparently only women get to choose sides on the abortion argument. How do you know I'm not a woman? I could identify as a woman. That's what you guys in today's society have been telling us for the past 2 or 3 years. 3 years at this point. That's how long it's been. This bullcrap argument. The progressives need to learn to actually stick with their arguments. Instead, when anything is a minor inconvenience to their argument, they just completely abandon it. But then after they abandon it, 5 minutes later, they can go back to it because that's the only way they win arguments. They make up crap as they go along. They abandon this idea here to talk about this idea here. When they're done talking about this idea here, they talk about this idea here once again. Progressives, you guys are just something else, and I mean that in the worst possible way. He's probably sitting on a golden toilet throne somewhere in the Capitol because when he decided to shut down the economy during the pandemic by closing all these businesses, he simultaneously decided to raise Wisconsinites' taxes while raising the wages for the public employees around him. What a complete a-hole. Like, I mean, seriously, he is. He said that everyone else can't be making an income by shutting down all these businesses. No one can get work. Well, he's like, yeah, but these people around me, they can get all the work they want and they can get more and more money. Like, seriously, what else would you call it?
Hamburger. 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 Hamburger.
You blame tigers and I'm blame touch, baby, we ain't not one and the same. I'm covered in diamonds and feeling the pressure to cover up all the pain. You can drive in the road, we're driving the races, don't drive me so fucking insane. Cause I'm feeling stressed, but I know that I'm blessed, baby, this shit is hard to explain.
My reaction when I see these stupid questions.
I guess it's time to start my grading for the day. Let's see here. Why I disagree with critical race theory. Oh, the gall of that student to suggest that what I've been teaching for the last 6 years is wrong. That is so rude. That's 10 points for rudeness.
Just because these taxpayers have been dead for years doesn't mean that I can't use them to vote again.
I know Victoria's Secret. She was Nathan too. Victoria was Nathan.
Told her don't let her friends know. In the Ville and I move like a dime. Eating fettuccine at Vincenzo's. Me and my amigos got that free smoke on the West Coast. Yeah, I'm talking about pre-rolls. Dark hair bitch, and she look like she go. She do. Hometown hero, feeling myself, can't murder my ego.
Christmas weather. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Jeez, this much face paint. I could pretty much be a member of a Democratic committee.
And I'll be singing Holy Mother of Moses. I just wanna buy you roses. Open every door that closes and kiss you from your head.
Bing bong build the wall, bing bong build the wall, bing bong build the wall, bing bong build the wall.
I'm looking like when, she looking like now. Some more came in, said they wanted two. I tell my brother, bitch, I'm out. I know she wanna fuck with me, but I don't got the time. Just hopped off a private plane and went and hopped on 85. Go cut my chauffeur, bitch, cause I don't like to drive.